They were saying that somebody peed in my shoes. I just remember sitting there on my bed with my feet in my sneakers, and I was so upset, so scared.
麦哥哥，你当时为什么有勇气去反击啊？
可以讲英文吗？
可以。
I wasn't always tough. When I was young, I was bad. I used to do a lot of bad things, but I wasn't tough. I didn't know how to fight. My mother raised me. My father wasn't in my life like that, and I didn't have any uncles or anything like that. Taught me how to be a man. That taught me how to be tough. And my mom always taught me to not fight, to not hit back, to if somebody hits you, just take it and tell. So I didn't know that. I didn't know how to do that. When I was 8 years old, something happened that made me go to juvenile jail. And when I got there, I was the only Chinese kid there. I was the only Asian person there. Everybody else was black and Spanish. The kids there were so mean. They were very mean. They were nothing like I ever experienced before. They weren't like Asian kids. They weren't like Chinese kids. They were very aggressive. And I didn't know how to respond to that. I didn't know how to act when things like that was happening to me. So they used to always tease me because I was Chinese. I was the only Asian kid there. So they used to always make fun of my eyes, pull their eyes back like that. Ching chong, chong chong. They used to throw things at me. They used to take my stuff. I couldn't leave, right? Because I was in trouble. So I had to stay there for months. And I didn't know what to do. They used to, like, if I'm sitting watching TV, somebody would just smack me in the back of my head, and like they'll start laughing, and then I'll turn around and I'll be so scared, but so angry, like so mad, but I'll be scared because there's so many of them and they're all bigger than me. Even the kids that were my age, they were bigger than me. So I didn't know. I was scared to fight them. I didn't know what to do. I used to be so upset and I used to cry. I didn't know who to talk to. My English wasn't really that good. So one day I was sleeping, and in our room, there's 8 people in the room. I was sleeping on the bottom bunk. I was sleeping. I woke up, I heard some noise, but I felt something on my face. I thought it was like a fly. So I went to go like this, and then I felt like wet stuff all over my face. Then I got up, and I'm looking, and I had like toothpaste all over my face. And then I touched my hair. I had like stuff all in my hair, like glue. My bed was wet. And I hear the kids laughing. When I went to go put on my shoes, my feet in my shoes, all the kids started really laughing very loud. And then they was like, oh, you stepped in piss, you stepped in pee. Oh, they were saying that somebody peed in my shoes. I just remember sitting there on my bed with my feet in my sneakers, and I was so upset, so scared. I was shaking, and I just had all this stuff on my face, all this stuff on my hair. My feet was wet, and I was just crying. I just cried there for minutes. I walked up, and then I went to the door, and they started throwing things at me. And when I left the door, I just started crying so much. And I went to the officer's desk, and I remember the officer was standing there with the newspaper with his feet up. And then I came in crying. He didn't even look up at me. He was just still looking at the newspaper. And I was like, crying. And I couldn't get the words out. And slowly, I was like, they did this to me, and he didn't even look at me. And then after a while, he just looked up and he said, there's nothing I can do to help you. If you don't fight, then they're just gonna keep on doing that to you. You gotta fight back. When he said that to me, I was crying, I was still crying, but something clicked in my head, and it made me realize nobody's gonna save me at that moment. Not my mom, not my father, nobody was gonna come to save me. And if I wanted it to stop, I would have to fight back myself. So that day I decided I was not gonna just let people do that stuff to me. That day I had to decide that I was gonna hit back and fight back, because that was the only way that I was gonna be able to survive.
Okay, 谢谢。
Yeah.